Hey everyone, welcome back to Car Drive Next. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the all-new 2025 Toyota Rush, a compact SUV that continues to evolve with subtle but meaningful changes. Whether you're looking for a family-friendly city cruiser or a budget-friendly adventure SUV, this might just be what you're after. So, buckle up as we walk you through every detail of this new model inside, outside, performance, and pricing, so you'll know whether the 2025 Rush is worth your attention this year. Let's kick things off with the exterior. Right at the front, the 2025 Toyota Rush gets a refreshed fascia that's slightly more modern without straying too far from its identity. The grille has been subtly redesigned with a sharper honeycomb pattern, flanked by sleek LED headlamps that are now standard across all variants. There's a pronounced U-shaped lower bumper that adds a bit of an aggressive stance to this otherwise family-focused SUV. The fog lights are now seamlessly integrated into a darker housing, giving it a sportier feel, while the chrome trims have been toned down to give the front a cleaner, more purposeful look. Move to the side profile, and the Rush still carries its rugged yet practical charm. It keeps the boxy SUV silhouette but now sits on a newly designed set of 17-inch alloy wheels with a machined finish that adds a premium touch. The 220mm ground clearance remains unchanged, which means you're still getting decent off-road capabilities for light trails or bad roads. Roof rails are standard, adding to the SUV character, and the blacked-out BNC pillars give it that floating roof illusion which is becoming quite popular. There are also new side skirts and slightly more sculpted character lines that help the design flow better, especially around the wheel arches, which are now more squared off. At the back, the 2025 Rush gets a mild update as well. The tail lamps have a new internal LED signature, with a smoked finish that matches well with the darkened rear spoiler. The spare tire is still tucked underneath the body rather than mounted externally, which keeps the rear design clean. The bumper has been tweaked slightly to feature a dual-tone finish with a silver diffuser-like element. Toyota has also repositioned the rear reflectors slightly higher to improve visibility in low light. The Rush badge is now in satin chrome, giving it a modern look, and the rear windshield wiper is neatly tucked under the spoiler. Step inside, and this is where you start to feel Toyota's intention to elevate the Rush from a basic utility vehicle to something a bit more comfortable. The cabin now uses more soft-touch materials, especially on the dashboard and door panels. The center console has been slightly redesigned to improve ergonomics, and the new 9-inch floating infotainment screen sits prominently on the dash. It supports both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard, and the user interface is now smoother and more intuitive. Behind the steering wheel, there's a semi-digital instrument cluster with analog dials for speed and RPM, but a digital multi-info display in the middle that shows fuel economy, trip info, and real-time driving data. The steering wheel itself is leather-wrapped with tilt adjustment, and it features audio and phone controls, as well as voice command access. Seating is where the Rush really wins for families. It comes with a 7-seater configuration, which is rare in this price bracket. The second-row seats have a 60 hours 40-minute split and can slide forward or backward to adjust legroom. The third row is best for kids or short adults over short distances, but having the flexibility is a huge plus. The seats are upholstered in a combination of fabric and leather depending on the variant, and there are rear AC vents, USB charging ports, and even bottle holders on every row. Boot space with all 3 rows up is limited, but with the third row folded down, you get a flat loading floor and decent room for grocery runs, travel bags, or gear. Under the hood, the 2025 Toyota Rush retains its 1.5-liter 4-cylinder DOC engine with dual VVTi, producing around 104 horsepower and 136 Nm of torque. It's paired with a 4-speed automatic transmission, or a 5-speed manual in some markets, and is still rear-wheel drive, a setup that's becoming rare in compact SUVs today. Now let's be real, this isn't a fast car, and it won't win any drag races. But what it does well is consistency and reliability. It accelerates smoothly, it handles predictably, and it's tuned more for efficiency than thrills. The engine is relatively quiet under normal conditions, though it does get a bit vocal when pushed hard. On the road, the Rush is surprisingly composed. The suspension McPherson struts in front and a solid rear axle is set up to absorb bumps and potholes without unsettling the cabin. It handles city roads and uneven terrain with ease, although body roll is noticeable when cornering at speed. Steering is light, which makes maneuvering in tight spaces easy, but it lacks feedback for spirited driving. Fuel efficiency is where the Rush does well. You can expect around 14 to 16 kilometers per liter in mixed driving, depending on load and driving style. That's competitive for a 7-seater SUV in this class. It's also worth mentioning that the Rush now comes with better NVH insulation, which cuts out road and wind noise more effectively than previous models. As for safety, the 2025 model includes Toyota's standard safety suite and higher trims, things like ABS, EBD, stability control, traction control, hill start assist, and 6 airbags. It also features a reverse camera, parking sensors, and ISOFIX anchors for child seats. However, advanced driver assistance systems like adaptive cruise control or lane keeping assist are still not included, which might be a letdown for some buyers. Pricing for the 2025 Toyota Rush varies slightly depending on the region, but in most markets, it starts at around $18,000 for the base manual version and goes up to roughly $22,500 for the fully loaded automatic variant. That puts it in competition with the likes of the Mitsubishi Xpander Cross, Honda BR-V, and Suzuki XL7. For what it offers, especially the 7-seat layout, rear-wheel drive, and Toyota's reputation for reliability, the Rush remains an attractive value proposition. And while it doesn't have the flashiest features or the most powerful engine in its class, it strikes a very good balance between practicality, affordability, and dependability. So, what's the final verdict on the 2025 Toyota Rush? Well, if you're looking for a no-nonsense, family-oriented SUV that does the basics well and won't break the bank, the Rush should be on your short list. It's not about thrills or luxury, it's about space, reliability, and versatility. And in those departments, the 2025 Rush holds its ground confidently. Let us know what you think about the new Rush in the comments. Would you choose it over its competitors? And if you've owned a previous gen model, we'd love to hear about your experience. That's it for today's review. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to Car Drive Next for more in-depth car reviews and comparisons coming your way every week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next drive.